Hey world, luck you. It's Raz, and that's my power wheelchair. I need a wheelchair because I broke my luck and neck 40 years ago. And I can't walk. There's a video camera on that chair, and today we're going to roll through the Pinball Hall of Fame. As a kid, or a younger man actually, I loved going to arcades. But I played pinball a lot at 7-Eleven. You'd go in the front door and to the left, or to the right, there would be a little cubby with a pinball machine, and all us hoodlums would go over there and play pinball. I did it backwards. I parked by the Las Vegas sign, which is about 1,000 yards away from the Pinball Hall of Fame. What I should have done was I should have parked at the Pinball Hall of Fame. Look at all that parking. And then went to the Las Vegas sign. But I didn't. They opened this location in 2021. It was supposed to be open in 2020, but for some reason everybody lost a few years. Let's step inside. Pinball Hall of Fame is a really fun place. But yeah, it brings back memories. The childhood, a different time. Everything was mechanical, not digital. But enjoy. Let's roll around this place. This is probably like the biggest arcade I've ever been in. I used to live by this place called Family Arcade on Vermont in LA. It's right across the street from LA City College, and I used to go in there. When I was like 17 or 18, I lived right there, like a block away. And that place I thought was huge, but this place is ginormous. Most arcades only had like one wall of pinball, like 25 machines all in a row, and maybe like another 5 or 10 in another location. But by that was 1982, so by then like video games were taking over. So there was like your Pac-Man and your Frogger, and your Ms. Pac-Man was pretty, and Baby Pac-Man that had a pinball machine attached to it. This is actually my first time inside the new location. I used to go to the other one, which is over there, Tropicana and Spencer, a couple miles off the strip. It wasn't the nicest neighborhood. In 2011, I had just graduated college, and I saw that this place existed. So I headed to Vegas for a vacation. I played pinball and poker and drank beer and smoked cigarettes. Oh wait, I don't smoke. After a fun weekend of poker and pinball, I found out that you can rent an apartment in Vegas for like $400. And yeah, I just packed up my stuff in Northridge, California, and headed out to Las Vegas and just moved here. It was like a 2-week decision, and then I lived right around the corner from the old Pinball Hall of Fame. And I would drive my chair over there and play pinball. There was a Rolling Stones machine that I really loved. But then coming back, it would scare the hell out of me because I would be on Tropicana Boulevard, and the sidewalks are narrow, like 3 people walking like side by side, one person to be like a foot in the street. That's how narrow the sidewalks are out here. And the cars are doing like 50 or 55 miles an hour. So coming back from the Pinball Hall of Fame, there would be like cars coming right at you. It was scary. So yeah, I pretty much quit going, and then I moved across town. The speed limits on the streets are like 50 and people do like 60. But then they have these school zones that are like 15 miles an hour. I think they're just teaching the kids that it's safe just to jump out in the street. When I was in kindergarten, there was a kid that ran out in the street and got hit by a car and broke their arm. So we learned not to run out in the street. Simple like that, huh? I mentioned before that I broke my neck and that I can't walk. I used to be able to stand up and play pinball. My accident was in 1980. I broke my neck, dived into a swimming pool. And about 9 years after I had my accident, I got to walking with a walker and a leg brace. And I had a pickup truck, and I could walk from my truck to park in the handicap spot and walk to the pinball machine and play for about a half an hour. And it was good. It was good exercise. It really gave me something to do. Like at first, I could only walk like 1 or 2 like laps around my house. And then once I realized, oh man, I can just walk over there and play pinball, I got way better and I started walking a lot. But that's a distant memory. These days I can no longer stand to play pinball. I'm working on a plan to change that. They have these, it's called a standing frame. I mean, it's a medical device. It just stands you up. You transfer into it and you stand up. And I'm going to work on something where I can get me and some other buddies in wheelchairs so we can come over to this place and like stand up and play some pinball and maybe have some people help us out, roll us around. Yeah, they didn't have the sit-down games back in when I had my accident. I mean, they did. There was a game called Fire Truck. It was like one of those hook and ladders. And the front guy would sit down inside, like, it wasn't like that, like all like soft and cushy, like car seat or whatever. It was like a wooden seat with like a straight back. So you'd sit there, and then the person on the back would turn the steering wheel and drive the back of the truck. So it was like teamwork. I asked the guy at the old location, the guy that ran the place, I'm like, hey, do you have the Fire Truck game? And he said they were very poorly made. They weren't that popular, and they're really hard to come by. The actual machine itself, like the box and the wood or whatever, was like low quality, and they would just fall apart. Some of you might have noticed that there's a bunch of machines that are dark, which means they're in a state of disrepair or are being repaired. But if you notice, a lot of the machines that are like 50s, 60s, early 70s, the ones with the mechanical reels, those are the ones you need another machine to get parts off of, or have a stockpile of parts, or know somebody has a stockpile of parts. So they're actually doing pretty good work to have as many machines working as they do. I mentioned in a previous video, like the main reason why I'm making these videos is I'm trying to learn a marketable skill, which is video editing, and like shooting all this footage just helps me. So I've learned a couple things actually in the last month or so. I've learned that I'm a terrible singer, because sometimes I'm rolling along and singing. I always thought I had a good voice and that everybody else was just wrong. No, people would tell me I sing all right, but yeah, listening to myself, but it's not going to stop me. I'm still going to sing. So yeah, you roll along and you record. You're just getting footage and you're recording, and then you listen to it later and you maybe sang along with something you saw, like this guy right here with the Primus shirt. Like when he walked by, I started singing Too Many Puppies, and then I heard it later and I was like, okay, not that good. I also learned that if you're going to do video editing, you need a really hefty graphics processor in your computer, or the thing just conks out. And then if you have that crappy computer and you get a good GPU, your crappy computer can't support the good GPU. So when you're out doing a photo shoot or video recording, you need to get the most important shots first. Like the money shot, like the reason you're there. Especially if you're going to leave your camera running in 111 degree temperature for like an hour. Yeah, then things just go haywire. So that Playboy pinball machine, not that one, but over there, yeah, you see that? The Playboy pinball machine, I played the hell out of that thing in like 1978, 1979. Back when punk rock was still anti-establishment. When punkers mocked anything that leaned corporate. It's not like that now. They're all sellouts. They call everything that's punk rock racist. I didn't like punk rock back then. I hated punkers, and we were, it's all high school stuff. You hate the other guys. You run into the short-haired punk rocker guys. You got long hair. It's like you hippie, you punker, whatever. There might have been some scrapping going on at times. But looking back, I respect punk rock. That's Patty McGuire on the left, Hugh Hefner in the middle, and Sandra Theodore. And I love that machine. More than the magazine. Just kidding. I have some fond memories. I read a lot of articles in Playboy. I do miss living in the mechanical world. I mean, back then, instead of Craigslist, we just put a 3x5 card on the corkboard, the one near the supermarket exit or at the laundromat. Or there was flyers and artwork at the record store, like by the front. And there was some really cool stuff, and you'd meet people like through that. And yeah, another thing I miss is, so nowadays there's no good used 20-year-old cars. Like, these cars are just full of electronics. Everything's digital. Like before in the mechanical world, when I was 18 in 1983, I bought a 1972 Pontiac convertible for $700. Had a 454 in it, but I could just work on it in my driveway. Or there was this old guy around the corner that had a tune-up shop. You'd take it over there like every 6 months or whatever. He would put some new plugs in there, and that thing would burn rubber for days. It was a sweet car. But nowadays, what's a 20-year-old car? So it's 2023. So you get like a 2003 like Chevy Malibu or whatever. It's a piece of crap. Another 10 years from now, 20 years from now, when people are looking at the 2020s as some kid who's 16 and wants to get a new car, he's screwed. You know what's funny? Up until 2015, I didn't know how to spell quadriplegic. That's when I began writing my book. Oh, that reminds me. Check out my book, The Days of Guns N' Roses. Okay, if you got anything to say, leave it in the comments. Every like, comment, and subscribe is appreciated. Until next time, have a lucky, wonderful day. And thanks for rolling along.